Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about FIFA 13 career mode youth team and the development side of things. FIFA 13's got a much better youth system than FIFA 12. It's far more useful and important if you plan to have a long career game that you really look into the youth side of things. So we'll load up a game here that I've been playing. And it's Scunthorpe United. The first thing you want to look at for the youth squad is scouts. Scouts, almost certainly. So we've got some scouts here. These are 10-star scouts. It's really important that you get the best scouts you can afford. With Scunthorpe, I did a financial takeover, and I invested over half of that on these three 10-star scouts. Now each scout's over £7 million to employ, about $11 million, but they're really worth it, as you'll see. Alright, so you've got your scouts. Where do you want to send them? Well, it's obvious footballing nations with the most talent. So you're talking about Brazil, Argentina, Spain, France, Italy, Germany, England. Okay, don't laugh, England do have some young talent. But the best places to start really are Brazil, Argentina and Spain. The very best scouts will find top talent anywhere, so don't overlook less obvious nations later on. So they'll find it anywhere. They'll find it in Japan, they'll find it in China. I mean, today in real life you'll see a lot of really top-notch African continent players, you might not have seen 30 years ago. So you're seeing players from the Ivory Coast, Egypt, Cameroon come through at the top level, and you will find them there in FIFA 13 as well. Okay, so you say we're going to send them to Brazil. How long do you need to send the scout for? Well, you're going to have to send them for at least 6 months ideally, because you may want extra few months reports from the scout on a player before you sign them up. So maybe a youth team might be full, or it's just to save money from signing them. You're going to want a few months possibly to keep scouting them. So we'll send this scout to Brazil for 6 months. Okay, right. Now, when you get your scout report back, your first scout report back, you'll see a selection of players here, and what you're looking at is their potential and their current ability overall. The top and bottom of these will be quite far apart, so here we can see a 67 to a 94 potential. The most important stat is the potential. If you've got top scouts like I assume, and we are looking for the very best players, you'll want to reject anyone with less than 90 maximum potential immediately. So let's do that with this scouts report. Okay, and you'll get so much choice, it's a waste of time bothering with players worse than that. With good scouts, they'll always find much more talent. Okay, so you weeded out the sub 90 potential. So who do you actually want to sign to your youth team immediately? When I'm starting a fresh youth team, you'd probably sign any player with sort of a 60 there, look, a 67 to a 90 plus potential. This one here, you'd probably sign them up. But when you've got a few players in your youth team already, you might only want to sign up the very best players there who've got the most potential, so the 70 plus, 73 to 94 plus straight away. So we'll sign him although he's 16, and there's a 70 to a 94 there. So we'll leave the rest to be scouted. We'll do it the same with this, so there's an 87 reject. You're going to find so much talent, there's no point keeping these players. There's 69 there, so we'll leave those to be scouted for another month. Okay, the start of every month you're going to get a new report on the players you signed to your youth team by your assistant. It will refine the estimate of their potential and their current ability, so it's more accurate every month that passes. Now we're looking at our youth team. Right, what we want to do in the youth team is the same as what we did with those initial scout reports. If we see one of the signings has less than 90 potential after an assistant report, we want to release him to free up room. But at the moment, of course, we've got some really excellent players in here, so we're not going to release anyone. After about 5 or 6 months of reports and doing this refining process, the players left in the youth team are going to be ones of very high potential. I mean, you can see here, he is 17, but he's got an 89 to a 94 potential, which is about as refined as you're going to get it. There's only a 4 or 5 point gap there, 4 point gap there. Look, so this means this player here, look, the minimum potential of this player is 90. He's a 90 potential player. He's actually probably even higher than that. He could be a 91 or 92 minimum potential player. I mean, that's really quite good. That's almost the best you're going to see, a 90 to a 94. But you'll see others 89 to 94, 88 to 94. 89 to 94. These are all going to be really excellent players. This one here, 90 to 94. That's huge potential, really. Especially good, for a 16-year-old. Okay, so we've got our top youth team players. We could pay attention now to their current ability when we come to sign them for the senior side. So you've got a 67 to a 71 there. That's quite a good starting point for a player. It's not bad for a 16-year-old. If you sign them, they'll probably come out as a 69 possibly, or even a 70 in some cases. So that one there is probably going to be at least 70 when you come to sign him for the first team. Anything over 70 for a 16-year-old starting out is actually really very good. You might see some that reach as high as 71, 72 at 16 years old. That is really very impressive. Okay, so you've signed up your youth team player, your future superstar. What sort of development can you actually expect from these players? Well, it does depend on how many games they might play. So you're going to want to play as many games as possible. You can see a goalkeeper from my youth team. He's played 59 games this season. You want to play them as much as possible to develop them, and you think, well, maybe you can send them on loan. This can work. One of the problems is that you've got to be careful what clubs you send them on loan to, because if there's already better players at that club in the player's position you're loaning out, then it's not very likely they're going to get many games. So if you do intend on loaning out your players, the best thing to do is to look at the other team's squad to see if they're going to get any games. And you can do this by going to the buy players screen and then selecting the league that club is trying to loan your player in. Say, let's have a look at QPR. So QPR, for example, if you send, say for example, a left back to them who's less than 77, he's probably not going to get many games. So the best bet is always to keep them at your own team and play them as much as you possibly can. If you're going to say, if they get say 30 games a season, the average development's probably around about 3 points a season until they get near their max potential and it slows down. Usually about 87 or 88 it slows down to 1 or 2 points a season, but they'll still gain if they play and their potential is high. And players can gain points right up until they're about 30 in experience, but most will reach close to their top potential by their late 20s. At age 29 they're about as good as they're going to get. Okay, so you want to see some examples, I suppose. Okay, so we can look at my youth goalkeeper. Here he is. Goalkeepers only seem to gain a lot if they played lots of games. It's really important. If you want a youth goalkeeper to come through, you'll want the very best potential goalkeeper you can find and stick with them and play them in virtually every game. Otherwise they tend to develop slower than other positions. Their ability also seems to start off a little bit lower than many outfield players, maybe a 64 or 65. This is my goalkeeper. he has got a 5-star weak foot and he's 6'9", so he's not going to get lobbed anytime soon. He started out as a 16-year-old on 64, I believe. Here you can see he's already an 84 at 21 years old. I think Joe Hart starts off at an 85, doesn't he? And he's 25, so he's already only nearly as good as Hart, but he's much younger, and he's only going to get better. I found it quite easy to find goalkeepers and centre backs and central defenders. We've got a lot of those positions. If you want to find other positions later, then you can have your scouts look for those positions specifically, what you would like. I'm sure you've noticed by now why I said that scouts are the best investment you can have for your team. So look at the value of these youth players is absolutely massive. You may only have to buy 1 or 2 players to cover other positions. You'll make a fortune if you invest your money in scouts. The talent just won't stop coming. So you could blow your entire financial takeover on a few good expensive players, but look at these values. It's an absolute no-brainer. Now young players can develop quickly. So you've got 29 million striker there, 28 million pounds centre back, 27 million pounds centre midfielder. There's hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players here. We can see the striker Jarjat there. He's an 85 at 21. The centre back is an 86 at 21 already, which is just incredible, because I think Hummels starts at a 85, doesn't he? And he's 23 in the main game, so he's already better, but he's 2 years younger. Then you've got an 85 rated CM Pauletta there, and Caldera as a right winger who's 85 at 22. Now I actually played this game a little bit longer, so you can see how those players developed. If you want to, you can see them just a couple of extra years down the line. So we'll have a look at some of those, how they moved on. And now we can see Jarjat, after 2 more seasons, he reaches 91. Pauletta, the CM, is now also a 91. The centre back's a 90, and he's not even 25 years old. There's the right winger there, who's also now a 90. And it goes on and on and on. We've got some amazing youth developed there. Look at that Bastos, who's now worth 37 million because he's an 88 at only 22 years old. So basically that's it, guys. You can see how fantastic it is to bring players through. And thank you for watching. I'd love to see your comments on the youth system on FIFA 13 below. Good luck with your youth teams.